Week 6 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few running backs I have as sleepers this week. The first back, Tyrell Goodson of the Indianapolis Colts. So Tyrell Goodson last week saw some game action with Jonathan Taylor out. And it looks like once again Taylor's going to miss this ball game at the Tennessee Titans, where he missed practice the first 2 days of the week, Wednesday and Thursday. And if he does practice here today, then maybe he's going to play in the ball game as Taylor, but it doesn't look likely as of now. So Goodson's going to be the backup to Trey Sermon. Sermon looked good in last week's game, and Goodson's more receiving down back, third down back, and change of pace. So last week at Jacksonville, decent ball game, 5 carries, 26 yards, 3 catches, 31 yards. So this week the matchup at the Titans. I know the Titans have a pretty solid defense, and it looks like Anthony Richardson is going to return to the lineup. But it seems like with Richardson in the lineup, they've ran the football more with this Indianapolis Colts team, given obviously that Jonathan Taylor was in there. So we'll see how the game plan is with Goodson and Sermon, most likely the running backs this week. But if you need a deep sleeper with injuries and some players on bye, I think Goodson could be a dart throw, available in 98% of fantasy leagues. The next sleeper is Emmanuel Wilson of the Green Bay Packers. Wilson, I believe, is one of the better handcuff backs in all pro football right now, still out there in 89% of fantasy leagues. I know last week he didn't do much, snap count went down, but this week it could be a ball game versus the Arizona Cardinals where they change it up a little bit, I believe, this Green Bay Packer team, and even get off to a big lead and then run the clock out in the second half. So like I said, the last 2 weeks, the numbers have dropped, no doubt about it, for Wilson. Week 4 versus the Minnesota Vikings, 8 carries, 27 yards. Week 5 at the Rams, 6 carries, 24 yards, a catch, -9 yards. He's still getting those 8-10 touches per week, is Emmanuel Wilson. And like I said, he's been in this offense this season and getting decent touches for the most part. I don't know if the last few weeks, but if Jacobs did go down, he would be the workhorse running back. So right now in deeper leagues, if you need someone to fill in with the buys and injuries at the position, I think Wilson could surprise with a good matchup versus the Cardinals that give up the 7th most fantasy points, the backs on the season. And the final, I have his sleepers, Jerry McNichols of the Washington Commanders. McNichols, the last couple weeks, he's getting a spot in this offense. I know still Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler ahead of him on the depth chart and in playing time, but the last 2 weeks, it's something not to shy away from. Week 4 at Arizona, 8 carries, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns, a catch, 6 yards. I know obviously that was a blowout victory and garbage time, and Austin Eckler was out in that one as well. In Week 5 versus Cleveland, more garbage time, 7 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown. But I believe he's getting a roll a little bit here as McNichols. Like I said, he's showing burst, yards per carry are way up there in the last 2 games for him where he's getting opportunity. And this week at Baltimore, it could be an up and down the field type of ball game where a lot of mix and match. And we also know Brian Robinson's not 100% as well. So if you want to take a real deep dive at a sleeper option at the position, McNichols is that this week, available in 98% of fantasy leagues. That's a few running backs I have as sleepers for week 6 of the fantasy football season.